All right, hello and welcome to Thursday, March 31st. Cruising through this month, it's a nice time to be thinking of what we'd like to see for ourselves happen in April. Since we are exploring the Yamas right now, we're on Brahmacharya, right use of energy or non-excess. So we can kind of contemplate that, perhaps the idea that we already have enough or there is enough around us, being happy with what we've got, while knowing that we can still plant seeds, looking to the future, creating what we'd like in life. So please sit tall, find your easy seat. You might scoot to the very edge if you are on a blanket, which I encourage you to be on. Allowing yourself a couple of breaths, seeing what it feels like to be you right now. And aiming for equanimity, maybe even celebration of being you right now. I'm just noticing if there's anything here other than total acceptance. If there's wishing for things to be slightly different, for a change to occur. Practice noticing that. And maybe just imagining being completely content just as you are. Notice the next inhale, how amazing it is that we pull in the atmosphere around us and it feeds our body the oxygen it needs. And as you notice your exhale, realize how you give back to the world around you. The beautiful relationship we're in with the environment and the trees. As you're ready, draw your hands together in front of your heart if you'd like to chant Om. This sound can help us create harmony in the brain. Inhale deeply for one long Om. And release your hands down. Start to draw big circles, leaning your heart forwards and then back. Maybe today you move slower than you have in the past, since for most of us, this is a quite familiar exercise to do. Sometimes if we slow down, maybe even close the eyes, maybe you can experience it differently than you have in the past, or than you might experience it if you just breezed through it quickly. When you're ready, switch directions, practicing noticing the subtleties of this moment. Maybe that means that you notice your breath, the temperature as it comes in and out. Maybe you notice the textures you can feel with your skin, your feet, legs, hands. So much is here in every moment. Return to sit tall. Notice which foot or leg you've crossed in front, and then plant both feet on the earth. Hands coming back behind you. Lift the shoulders towards your ears, roll them back and down. Slide the shoulder blades together and down, puffing the heart up a little bit, staying for a breath as you engage your core abdominal muscles. And as you're ready, cross the right ankle over the left thigh. If this is not possible, you could also hook the right ankle over the left ankle. Finding figure 4, doing what works for your wrists and hands today. Keep lengthening the spine. If this is not functional for you, you can also lower down to your forearms or all the way onto your spine. About 3 more slow, full breaths. Letting it take some time to breathe deeply. Release your right foot as you're ready, and then cross the left ankle over the right thigh. And if that's not happening, then you can cross the left ankle over the right ankle. Let yourself settle in. And then breathe slow, full breaths. Notice if you're holding tension in the shoulders or the jaw or anywhere in the body, and try to let it go. Take your time with one more full breath. And release your left foot back to the earth. Cross your legs with the non-dominant leg in front. Sit tall, then draw your circles. Trying to be very mindful of what's happening as you draw this big circle, leaning your heart forwards and then back. And as you're ready, switch directions. Maybe you can imagine the base of your seat, your pelvic bowl, and you're rolling around the rim of the bowl. And there's a lot of muscles that attach over the pelvic bowl. So this is a way of massaging those muscle attachments. The other options get very personal, so. Return to an easy seat, sitting tall, shimmying the hips perhaps. And now let's make our way into tabletop, just passing through. Remember, you can always pad under your knees with a blanket. Option to bring your hands onto blocks, just shifting the perspective a few inches. Then pass through cow and cat a couple of times, dropping the belly, Vidalasana, cow pose, and arching the spine, Marjaryasana, cat. I've definitely decided if in the future I have another cat, its name will be Marjorie. Marjaryasana. Take your time breathing and flexing your spine. And the next time you come into cat pose, you might pause and maybe look side to side. And maybe slow motion nod your head. Hi, Toby, you heard me thinking about another cat, huh? One more big breath in, and when you exhale, send your hips back. Now, if your hands are on blocks, it just gives your shoulders a little bit more space to work with. Try to relax your head and neck. Your thighs might be together, or maybe your knees are apart with your belly draped between the legs. You might sway a little side to side, helping yourself settle in, and then enjoy about 3 full breaths. As you fill up, notice how the back body expands since the front body is contracted. or compressed. There we go. As you're ready, push the blocks out of the way, planting your hands. Tuck your toes. What are you doing? He's just clawing and dragging himself across the mat. Let's inhale deeply and exhale. Find downward facing dog. And as you settle in, you can pedal the legs, bending one knee and then the other, swaying the hips perhaps. Wherever you go, try to keep your hands pretty firmly planted. Keep your abdominal muscles scooping in. Let your head be heavy as the rest of the body perhaps explores. On an inhale, lift your right heel or leg to the sky. Big stretch through three-legged dog. Now you can keep your hips squared if you like, or bend your right knee and stack the right hip over the left, opening up a bit more. Keep pushing the ground away. Shoulder blades are sliding up towards your ears. The head and neck are hanging heavy. Maybe draw a circle with your right knee. And if you draw a circle one way, maybe you want to draw it the other way also. Then re-extend the right leg. Look forward, inhale. Exhale, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand towards the pinky, transitioning right into a lizard variation. And this is where the blocks might be a great assist since it is early in the day for us. You can plant your hands right away on blocks. Maybe you've lowered your left knee, that's fine. Maybe today you keep the left knee lifted and send lots of energy back through the left heel. The right leg is hugging the right arm. And the spine is really long. You might even kind of tuck your chin just slightly so the back of the neck is really long. And there's a line of energy from the crown of your head down that long spine, down the leg, and out the foot. One more slow cycle of breath here. And as you're ready, we'll step the right foot back. Now, you might keep your hands on your blocks, or it might make more sense for you to set the blocks out of the way. Step yourself back to plank pose. Just one breath here. And as you exhale, lower your knees, sink your hips, transitioning into cobra pose. So kind of flowing down. And then exhale, child's pose. So you can keep flowing with that or rest in child's pose. You might inhale, coming forward, lowering the hips, transitioning to cobra, and exhale, pressing back to child's pose. Now this is moving from a back bend to more of a forward fold, which is something we want to be really careful of the spine. But since we're not staying too long, I think it's safe for the spinal discs. So either flowing cobra to child's pose, or maybe you've settled into one or the other. One more cycle of breath. And then with toes tucked, we'll all meet in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. A few breaths here. Check in with your foundation. Feet are about hips distance apart. Second and third toes centered with the heels, even if the heels are floating in space. Gripping with your fingertips, pushing the earth away. As you're ready, inhale to lift the left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. You can stay as you are with the hips neutral, or bend the left knee, lift it towards the sky, and stack your left hip on top of your right. If you're doing this, then you might also draw a big circle with the left leg. And perhaps draw the circle the other direction. Re-extend the left leg long, big breath in. Look forward between your hands and exhale, step or swing the left foot to outside of the left hand. Transitioning into lizard pose, you can bring the blocks back under your hands. And as you settle in, be very mindful that the left leg is hugging to the left arm. So there is action happening there. Press back through the sole of your right foot, particularly if your right knee is lifted. You can always lower the right leg. Several breaths. As you start to settle in and perhaps the mind starts to wander, that's when we can choose to refine the motion. That way we're really present. So notice what's happening in the legs. If there's any hanging out or sinking into the hips, then I'd encourage you to imagine squeezing the legs together so the lower body is very active. Press back through the sole of your right foot. You might draw the chin back in space slightly so that the neck is very long. One more big breath like this. Let's all keep our hands on our blocks as we just step the left foot back, transitioning through plank pose, lots of energy here. And exhale, bring the right foot back to the outside of the right hand and block. You can do this without blocks, but if you have blocks, they're helpful. Bringing them to a higher setting. And on an inhale, straightening your right leg, coming to the right heel. Let me see if you can see. Yeah, so I'm on my right heel, right toes pointing towards my face, folding forward in a wide variation of pyramid. And you can stay just like this, or you can bend your right knee, inhaling, looking up, exhaling, flowing back through this pyramid shape. Inhale and exhale a few more times. Toby's making up for not hanging out with us much this week, I think. No. After one more pass through pyramid, return to, hey, sorry, almost never messes with plants. Returning to lizard pose, step yourself back through plank, and then step your left foot. My goodness. Ask for focus and you'll receive distraction. Transitioning to lizard once more with the left leg hugging the left arm. Big breath in. And as you exhale, straighten the left leg, pointing the left toes towards the sky, folding over the left leg. Staying here for a breath or two. And as you're ready, bend your left knee, returning through lizard. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the left leg, hinge over it. Inhale, lizard. Exhale, pyramid. And we'll go one more time. Pausing in pyramid with the toes pointing towards your face as best you can. If that doesn't feel good for your heel, it's okay. Inhale and exhale, return through lizard. Set the blocks out of the way, preparing to step forward right into a yogi squat. Big inhale. Exhale, step the right foot out to the right edge of the mat. Sink your hips as low as you can. Hands can come together in front of the heart, perhaps. Keeping in mind, you could always be perched on a block or two. You might be considerably higher. That's okay. Still squat. One more big breath. And then release your hands to the mat or blocks and straighten your legs, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. Pivot your feet so that you're back to hips distance apart, second and third toes centered with the heel. And then breathe here, maybe swaying side to side, maybe bending the legs, maybe straightening them and noticing how we need to lift and lengthen the spine a bit then. When you're ready, with soft knees and a firm core, inhale to rise up, reaching out and up. And exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale to reach to the sky. Exhale to fold forward. Hands touch down and left foot steps way back in space. Go ahead and lower the left knee, maybe putting a blanket under it, and bend the left leg. Heel coming towards your hip. You can stay right here. This is already a good amount of effort. You might bring a block under your left hand. You might reach your right arm back in space. Maybe you can catch the left foot. Maybe you loop a strap over the ankle, or maybe you just hang out. Ooh, but don't just hang out. We're actively engaging. So imagine squeezing the legs together, core muscles engaged. Maybe you look over your right shoulder as you reach back in space. As you're ready, release. So you're facing forward again. You could bring a block under your right hand as you just explore reaching the left hand back in space. Maybe looking over your left shoulder. So different ways to feel sensation in the hip flexor area. One more breath. And then release the left toes to the earth. Plant your hands, step yourself into plank pose. From here, you are welcome to go into child's pose, go into downward facing dog right away, or chaturanga with me. Before we do it, externally rotate your arms. So rotate your arms, that way the elbows point more towards your thighs. Core engaged, inhale forward on your tippy toes. Exhale, lower halfway and hover. The arms are hugging the side body. Untuck your toes, and then lift your heart, pushing the ground away. Upward facing dog. On an exhale, find Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. On an inhale, look forward. As you exhale, step or swing the left foot to the top of the mat. Lower the right knee, maybe put a blanket under it, and then bend your right knee. You can bring blocks under your hands if you know you like the support. And when you're ready, you might explore reaching the left arm back in space. Maybe your hand finds the right foot or ankle. Notice if the left leg is splaying out and keep trying to squeeze it in just like we did in lizard. And square your shoulders towards the front if you can. Maybe you look over your back shoulder. Right. Breathing. As you're ready, release the left hand. Option to reach the right hand back in space. Noticing how that feels. Maybe you look over your right shoulder. One more breath. And then release. Gently touch your right toes down. Plant your hands. Big breath in. Breathe out. Step yourself right into downward facing dog, just passing through. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Look forward. Exhale, step or swing the right foot to the top of the mat. Step your left foot out and up a bit, setting up for warrior one. Keep the right knee bent, stacked over the ankle. And as you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, rising up, Virabhadrasana 1. Imagine the outer right hip shifting back and bend into that knee again. Reach the arms up, big breath in. Exhale, slowly sweep the arms out wide, clasping the left thumb on top. Anchor your knuckles down if that's available. Inhale and exhale, hinge forward, humble warrior, bringing the right shoulder towards the right knee. Lifting the knuckles towards the sky, imagine shifting the right hip back in space as you do this. Really press into the pinky side edge of your left foot. Breathe. From humble warrior, release your hands to the mat. Step yourself right back to downward facing dog. And right away, inhale the left leg to the sky. Look forward. Exhale, step or swing the left foot to the left thumb. Plant the right foot, stepping it up and out a bit. Shift the left hip back, bend into the left knee, and with a long spine, inhale, rise up. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Another big inhale to reach and float your arms out wide, clasping your hands if possible behind your back, right thumb on top. Anchor the knuckles down, inhale, and exhale, hinge forward. Left shoulder coming towards the left knee, maybe on the inside of it, and then imagine shifting your left hip back in space slightly, keeping the pinky side edge of your right foot intentionally stamped down. See how much you can soften and let go of your head and neck. One more full breath. And as you're ready, release your hands to the mat. Stepping forward, inhale. Exhale, right foot meets the left. Fold forward and then sink your hips, coming all the way to your seat and then rolling down to your spine. Open your arms out wide. Breathe deeply as you slowly let your legs fall from side to side. A few more breaths like this. And then bringing the legs back to neutral. Hug the knees in towards your chest if that feels good. Apanasana. You could rock side to side. And as you're ready, send both legs long, feet hips distance or more, and then let them fall open wide. Palms towards the sky, giving yourself some much deserved rest in Shavasana. Staying with your breath, another couple of rounds. This week of exploring Brahmacharya, non-excess, or right use of energy. Seek wonder everywhere you go and in everything you see. See the sacred in the ordinary and the divine in every person you encounter. Move through your day with your heart and your eyes open to take the time to truly see and feel. When you walk to your car, to work, no matter the destination or the time of day, take the time to look up and around you at the beauty that surrounds you. Pause for a moment to take it all in. The sun or moon, the colors and smells Absorb the sweet, simple perfection of life as it is in each moment. Feel the just rightness of it as it is and the need for nothing more. As you're ready, invite movement back into your body and make your way to an easy seat, keeping in mind you can always extend this portion of practice and rest in Shavasana longer. If you're ready to close practice together, then sit tall and draw your hands together in front of your heart. Inhale deeply for one long Om. Thank you for sharing your practice and your time.